Well, The Garden of Words, directed by Makoto Shinkai, is a 45-minute film that depicts two alienated characters finding solace in each other. It is a romance, but it's a very light and sentimental romance. It's very human. That's how I would put it. Of course, the animation and soundtrack are stunning. The animation, well, the visuals are doing the talking right now. And I'm not much of an expert in this field, but it does look pleasing to the eyes. The soundtrack is mostly a gentle piano that fits really well with the overall mood of the film. The story is very linear and very intimate. You follow the two main characters pretty closely in their lives. And these characters are people who feel alienated from their situation or feel stuck. And through each other, that's how they learn to get on their feet again and find purpose and direction. Because the film is only 45 minutes, it does feel a bit hectic at times. The pacing can be a bit fast. It uses a lot of montages to cover large spans of time, and truly, the story does span over a huge amount of time. It's a film that has a potential to be a feature-length film, but is condensed into 45 minutes, which sometimes, well, to me, it makes the climax feel a bit undeserved, because there was so many moments that weren't able to fully sit with you until the climax finally hit. So overall, this is a film that I think requires active viewing, and if you're into romance and like character studies, this film is pretty good. It has a lot of pretty great themes and consists of, once again, great visuals, great score. So hey, if all this sounds appealing to you, go watch The Garden of Words. It's free on Netflix. Now, we're going to be getting into some spoiler talk of The Garden of Words. So if you haven't watched it yet, you can go watch it. And if you don't really care, well, you can stay. Alright, so let's talk about the characters. Our main character dude is a high schooler who feels more mature than the rest of his peers. He has greater aspirations, he has a part-time job, and he is a cobbler. Our second main character is a literature teacher that feels immature and not prepared still to be an adult. And she soaks up her alienation and feeling of isolation in literature and alcohol. So, you know, something relatable for some people out there. And of course, Shinkai, out of all his films that I watched, he is absolutely superb at conveying romance at a grounded level, even in extraordinary situations, as you could see from like Your Name and Weathering with You. And there is no extraordinary situation here, but again, the solid foundation of romance is still it's all over this film. These two main characters, they complement each other very well. It is through the high school teacher that the kid gets a taste of the outside world and this place that he wants to be. Instead of being stuck in high school learning mundane stuff, he wants to get out there and be working. While high school, it teaches the teacher how to walk again. And in their experiences, he teaches her how to put herself out there and aspire to be something. And both these characters are wonderfully expanded. We see moments of their life, however, they are quite rushed. I guess it comes with a hectic pacing, but you do get to see at least quite detailed bits of these people's daily lives and how they feel. And I really think that these extra bits of, some might say, fluff, really adds realism to the story, where you see these mundane average tasks that really characterize our characters without really directly impacting the story. One thing that I found really interesting was the symbolic purpose of and thematic purpose of rain. In Garden of Words, these characters, they only meet each other when it's raining in the garden and they in the park, and they sit under this little tent structure, and it really resembles isolation and I guess a wanting to be alone. And these two characters, because they both want to be in a place like this, they meet each other and get to know each other. It's really a love from familiarity thing, where because how close their situation is as far as alienation goes, they all come to this place to brood and ponder, but they met each other. And it's through being familiar that they learn to appreciate each other and grow from each other. It was interesting that because the rain kind of symbolized their meeting, it kind of contrasts the Weathering with You, because in Weathering with You, rain was seen as a bad thing and clear days were seen as wonderful, while in this, rain was seen as comfortable, as a time when these two characters were truly bonding. And there was a really great moment where, even when it wasn't raining, our male protagonist went to the park. And this kind of shows that instead of waiting for the opportunity, sometimes you just have to take it. That's thematically pretty beautiful. And Jesus Christ, still, the music and visuals are phenomenal. There was one scene transitioning from their meeting in the park to in the teacher's apartment. It was wonderful, truly. The diegetic sounds completely faded out, and you just heard this non-diegetic piano play, a gentle piano playing that, and there was no dialogue. Really, the music and visuals here are doing the storytelling, which I find always more effective than dialogue most of the time. Now, it is kind of a taboo subject that was tackled here, because it's love between a teacher and a student. But it was done quite tastefully, I would have to say. Yeah. I know maybe I'm harping a little bit much on the ending towards the non-spoiler section, but truly it did make me feel catharsis. However, it didn't really make a lot of sense to me at the time. I really needed to reflect over it. And I guess that comes with the requiring active viewing to really understand everything, because nothing is really put forth, and there's a lot of really great non-direct characterization in these characters. There's a lot of subtle emotions of characters that you have to really read in, and I think that's beautiful, truly. That's something in storytelling that is very rare, and it's very mature. And the ending sequence was nice. It showed hope, much like the other romances of Shinkai, Your Name, Weathering with You. It shows hope and love and connections formed by two people. Now, I've only watched these 3 Shinkai films and haven't watched 5 centimeters per second, but I've heard that story has a more somber ending compared to these. So I'd be interested in watching that and tackling that maybe someday. But yes, overall, first of all right, we're doing something different for Thots this time. Instead of the rating being out of 10, it's going to be out of 100, because I just feel like it's more precise that way, and I can give my overall thoughts. So, overall, I'm going to give the Garden of Words a 72. And, the reasons are up there. And that's why I think this movie is like this. I don't regret watching the movie. It was a great time. And for anyone who loves Shinkai's style and this romance that he handles so very well, go ahead. Find 45 minutes in your day and take a watch. It won't change your life, but it will be a thoroughly enjoyable 45 minutes. All right, that's it. See you guys next time.